Yo, what's going on, guys? Time for two here, or Chess from Lostark. Today we're gonna do another video going over my artists. So till this point, we have covered my Paladin, my Bard, my Valkyrie, my Slayer, my War Dancer, and between number 5 and 6 slots on my top 6 roster, we're getting down to my artist. Again, I'm not going to be as well versed probably with the 5 and 6, or the bottom of my roster at this point, but I still wanted to do a little bit of a preview just to give any new players, returning players, or any players who just want to see what the class is all about. Give them a little bit of info, give them baseline build or understanding of what it's all about. So I'm just gonna go over my personal build preferences. I won't go into the nitty gritty like details of the, the play style, the stats, and all that. But I'll give you guys like a general overview of artists, how I feel about it, and yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps me out. It's free as well. And let's just get right into it. So again, we're going to start usually with the Ulu site since I like the way that lays everything out. My artist right now is eye level 1684. See, the combat power is 1511 for the support. Level 70, of course. If I go over artists, just to give a brief general like summary of artists. The toolkit, it has a lot of different options. It's pretty versatile. I do think it requires pretty good positioning because the two buff skills, Sun Sketch and Sun Well, one of them you can just throw out. The other one is a little bit more positional. So maintaining good uptime for your DPS is a little bit harder. But I think it has really good shields. Single target healing is really good. The brand is super easy to use. But I think just the positioning is a little bit, required, right? Same with Bard. So that's just a general overview of the class. I think the main thing is you want to generate generate your meter or your identity as much as you can. And you have the option between using 2 orbs to do increased damage for your party, or use 1 orb and do healing. Now, generally, as a support, you want to be buffing a little bit more, so generally you want to just try to use the Moonfall, which I'll get into that a little bit more in the game UI. But let's look at my armor. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. You see it could be improved a little bit. My elixirs, 5-5. They're not min-maxed, again, because it is one of my lower alts. And I only push it with bound gold these days. But 5-5, 5-5, 5-5, 4-5, and 4-5. You can see I'm using like MP, Explosive Expert, so they're still like viable, right? And then intelligence, weapon power, and intelligence, so it's decent across the board. It's at least playable. For my accessories, I've got brand power, which is a must on the high line. The 2 earrings, I have shield high and weapon power low, and then weapon power high. So I think that's important. You probably can improve the first earring just to get a little bit more weapon power, right? I think the weapon power is the most important thing for support. If we look at my 2 rings, I've got a high for ally damage enhancement, and then for the second ring, it's both ally damage enhancement and ally attack power enhancement, just a low, mid. One of them can be a high if I can, roll it or get improvement on it. So that's that. Stone, I'm using an expert drops of ether. I'd improve it by trying to get like an awakening on one of those rolls, but haven't had a chance to do that yet. Haven't got the RNG drops for that. If we take a look at my bracelet, I've got Swift Spec, Vitality, Intelligence, and I've got target crit resistance, minus 2.1% for 8 seconds, and then ally attack power enhancement, 2.5%. So mid effect for that. Go to my gems. I stripped all my tradable gems off my artists and replaced them with bound ones. You can see from some event in the past, I've got 2 7s damage gems and 2 7s for CDs. Probably slap those on your Sun Sketch and Sun Well, your 2 major buff skills that require the most, the better gems. Card, you want to use Lost Wind Cliff. I think I ran normal Mordum, so that's why I have the Gate 3 set for Grandmaster's Trial for this, but there's that. Combat power, you guys can probably see the breakdown. I'm not going to go over too much into it. Engravings. This is something with artists where I played around with a little bit more than my other supports. Currently I'm using Awakening Drops, Magic Stream, Heavy Armor, and Expert. In older raids that you're a little bit more well versed in, you could probably remove the heavy armor and go for something like max MP or vital point, just whatever, you know, flex engravings you want to use for support. But with the newer raids, I suggest putting heavy armor still, since supports can tend to be a little bit squishier. But yeah, you have your baseline kind of like Awakening, Magic Stream, and Expert I think I use, and then you can't play around with the rest. So that's what I use for now. Go over my Ark passive. Again, you index heavily into Swiftness, Pseudo Spec, using the Standing Striker build for this. For the Enlightenment tree, I think with the newest update, they've recommended that we switch to Combat Technique level 3. So I have that. And then for Leap, again, you want to just get as many points as you can with Dragon's Gem until you finish all the Karma. But I have yet to finish my Evolution or Leap Karma on my artist, so that's why the points are a little bit low. We go over my skills. This is my raid loadout, and we could go into the game UI and talk about my Chaos and Paradise build. But you have your purple skills, which are kind of your mirror shield utility, and then you have your kind of your buff meter gain identity skills and the yellow skills. So I guess I said Sun Sketch, Sunwell, your two main buff skills. Drawing Orchids is going to be your brand skill. No issues with that. Illusion Door is a really good meter gain skill. For Hopper, I know people might put like the legendary Wealth Rune on it, but I prefer to have a legendary Gale Wind. That's just something to call out just because of quality of life. I'm trying to get the shields off as fast as I can. I sometimes switch between Sprinkle and Pouncing Tiger, but I haven't had any issues with Sprinkle. I like Sprinkle better nowadays just because it does provide shields for your teammates, whereas Pouncing Tiger doesn't. But, you know, if the stagger is lacking, then I'll switch over to Pouncing Tiger, but I haven't had issues with Sprinkle. It does a pretty good stagger job, even without Vital Point hit. A Starry Night DR skill, and then I use a counter Upward Stroke. Your other DR skill is Sun Sketch, so there you have it. So that's it from the Uwu site. You guys can see the tripods there and pause it and whatnot and take the build if you want. But let's dive into the game UI and see what is going on with my other build. So I'll go straight into the Chaos build or my Paradise build. Again, ignore the gems if you're just using it for Paradise, but I use the same thing for Chaos. You guys can take the tripods. I use Pouncing Tiger. You guys can see the tripods there. Drawing Orchids, your brand skill, 2-3. Crane Wing, 1-2-1. Illusion Door, 2-2-2. One Stroke, again, counter skill as well in Paradise, 3-2-1. Upward Stroke, 2-1-1. Inkwell, an extra damage skill, 2-1-1. And then Sun Sketch still buffing 2-3-1. So use the same thing for Chaos. I used to have a specific Chaos build, but I didn't want to make another spend blue crystals again because the exchange is so dog meat right now. But yeah, that's what I currently use for both, and it fits the bill so far. Let's look into let's see overall UI and just see what's up. Again, I think I mentioned my Karma not completely finished, level 4 for Leaps and Evolution, and then Enlightenment maxed out. Especially for an alt, not heavily pushing it, right? Just pushing with Bound Gold. Engravings, pretty much the standard. Here's my Chaos loadout. Always need Preemptive Strike, and then Contender, you know, makes things easier in Chaoses. I think you guys saw my gem layout in the Uwu preview, but you guys can just take a look there. And then Lost One Cliff, as I mentioned. Skin, I think I'm just using the choker hoodie that you could buy from your stronghold, and some pants that I think I just got from some town center, like skin chest or something. So that's what I'm currently using. So let's talk a little bit about the identity skills. Now I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details of it, but essentially there was a new update with artists where you could have the paint combat technique in the evolution tree. Essentially, the way that I understand it is you get up to like 9 stacks of this ink energy, and then when you cast, right, when you use Moonfall with 8 or more stacks, it gives you additional duration for damage buff, as well as more cooldown on your skills. So it's important just to maintain your stacks, essentially, and you just get a little bit more uptime. You could have better uptime with a better CD, and you give your party a little bit more time with the buff. So again, that's the general gist that I understand it, but I won't go too much into it. Again, you have your Moonfall and you have your Sunrise as part of your identity, right? Your main defensive utility, just going through the kit now that we talked about kind of your major buff skills and then your identity skills. You have Starry Night, which is a good DR skill. Hopper is good shields. Again, Starry Night also does shields. I use Sprinkle because it does shields, and then Illusion Door does cleanse and helps gain meter faster if in case you need to get like a heal orb right away. As for my counters, I use Upward Stroke. It does like a 2-hit, and I really like it, so that's just what I use instead. I do not use Conviction Judgment. If you do want to use Conviction Judgment, you probably want to use Conviction on probably like Sunwell, and then Judgment on like Drawing Orchids. I think I just mentioned I use Sprinkle more than Tiger, just depending on the vital or the stagger of the party. Other than that, I think that might be it that I really want to go over, right? Yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to. I think that's a good baseline. You guys can probably check out Lostark Nexus if you want like a full breakdown of the artist class itself, but I probably won't go into it any longer just because I want to keep these videos a little bit shorter. But yeah, I think I would just end with going over the general rotation that I use. So always use Brand. Sun Sketch and Sunwell, you want to make sure you rotate and not overlap as much. Use your Starry Night and Hopper, Illusion Door, and Sprinkle for like shields for your party members, as well as meter gain. As soon as you get 2 bubbles, I usually try to pop that, overlap it with your Brand skill, either one of Sun Sketch or Sunwell. You can use your T skill as well, which does additional damage. So again, you're just trying to stack the buffs as much as you can, but outside of Sunwell and Sun Sketch. Your Awakening, just as usual, does a lot of shields for your party, and you can always drop heal orbs with your X skill for your party members that are a little bit low on health. So that's about it. I don't really use Conviction Judgment, so there's nothing really set in stone. It's a good shielding class, so that's pretty much all I really have to say about the rotation there. I'm in a town center right now, so I can't really. I don't feel like moving around and showing it off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, we're kind of getting into the end of my classes. I could talk about like my arrow if people are curious. Showcase the build if you guys want any info on that, especially in tier 4, since I don't really, post the gameplay of kind of like these alts that are kind of in the bottom of my rosters. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.